Megan, and I want to give you a little bit of an overview of teaching OL 2000. I thought I would do that by taking you into a course that I taught and sort of gives you a pretty good sense of how OL 2000 is structured and organized and what your role will be as the instructor. Because of the limitations with Jing, I'm going to do this in a couple of different sessions. So this first one we're going to focus on sort of the overall philosophy of OL 2000 and the actual announcements page and how I use that tool. So I've taken you into the August 2008 offering of OL 2000. In this particular course I had a co-instructor, Kent Matsueda, and Kent and I agreed early on how we were going to divvy up the teaching responsibilities so that we weren't stepping on each other's toes. We both agreed that we would use the announcements page as our primary method of communicating with our students. Now, keep in mind, our students are actually faculty members who are preparing to learn how to teach online. So I use that term student, but keep in mind we're talking about our faculty. Both Kent and I decided in our sections that we were going to include a brief welcome video. For example, here is mine. I do this for a couple of reasons. One is to show the faculty members that it's relatively easy to integrate media elements like audio and video into their teaching experience. The second reason is the obvious one, is it helps make you as the instructor a bit more real to the learner. And so I do that very purposefully. Now, I don't do that too many times through the course, although it's easy enough to do today with the video capture tools we have. It's just something I don't find myself doing that often. I think the other one I've included in my course is a transition video clip between Lesson 2 and Lesson 3 when I want to summarize the postings that they did to Lesson 2 and set them up for what's happening in Lesson 3, and that seems to work out pretty well. I also use this page, and I'll show you here in a second, as a way to communicate regularly with the students so that they know that when they come to this page, they're going to hear something, if you will, from me. So I use this as my primary device to do that. When I change my message dramatically, I like to include some sort of an image. And I have a collection of these here I'll show you over the length of the course. I just keep these as stock photos loaded up in Angel, and then I pull them out and use them when I want to indicate particularly to the students that our lesson has changed, that the message has changed, so that they have an idea of the fact that they should take notice and read something. It's completely up to you whether you want to do that or not. I find it as a nice technique, and the students seem to respond to it well. I also will include oftentimes a little joke or something, and again I have these saved as stock documents that I can pull out and just put a little humor into the course, because as many of you know, I also use bad jokes when we meet face to face. Well, I like to call them good jokes, but sometimes people refer to them as corny jokes, especially my kids, but you get the idea here. So for example, at the end of one of the lessons I might just post a little, by the way, here's a joke that relates to teaching or something, and they seem to appreciate that. That's something, again, depending on your personality and comfort level, you may or may not want to do. So this is primarily the announcements page. I also use this environment as a way to share with our participants in OL 2000 teaching strategies. So I'll say to them, notice in this section, this is what I did. Notice I did not respond to every single posting. I was selective. I did it. And it helps them learn about what's to be expected. And that's the last thing I want to leave you with in this little clip, is we're not trying to teach heroic instruction online. We're trying to teach reasonable expectations of what's expected for the instructor in this online teaching environment, and that is to provide the student with a quality learning experience. So you don't have to go over the top and be available 7 by 24, but you do have to be responsive and exhibit what good teaching and learning behavior is like. All right, I'm going to end here, and I'll catch up with you in the next section. Thanks.